I know we've not done this in a very long time, but finally, all my favorite movies, TV shows, interviews, all the best content that I watched in a single month in a single video. This is the best of April 2023. And let's start with Welcome to Wrexham. These two Hollywood stars might just be the biggest idiots or the biggest geniuses in the entertainment world. In 2020, Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney spent millions of dollars to buy a struggling, almost unknown football club in UK. But why did they do this when they have no connection to the team, its hometown, or the sport of football itself? Welcome to Wrexham on Hotstar captures the journey of Wrexham FC, the third oldest association football club in the world that might be struggling in every way possible. But to the people of Wrexham, from the kids to the local pub owner to this girl gang who's never missed a single match in decades, their home team is more than just a football club. It's their purpose of existence. All they want is, no matter how many problems they have in their own life, they just want their club to play well and someday, somehow, get promoted to the English Premier League. But can two Hollywood stars who have absolutely no experience of owning a sports team actually revive this club? Can better management, better players, better training facilities for those players, better stadium facilities, bigger sponsors like TikTok, can all this create a brighter future for the team, its fans, and the town of Wrexham? That's the core of this classic, feel-good, goosebump-inducing underdog story. Whether you love football or hate football, after watching this, you'll have a new team to support. Beef. Let me ask you a personal question. Do you believe in God? If yes, when was the last time that you prayed or even thought of God? And if you don't believe in God, has there been a difficult time or situation that made you want to believe in God? I don't want to reveal too much about the show because I want you to experience it as it is. But there is this one scene in Beef where Danny, one of the main characters, happens to go to a church, a place that he hasn't been to in many years because he's also not a believer. But in his life, he's at a point of rock bottom where there is very little energy or hope inside himself to keep going on. And when he's standing there in that church with hundreds of people around him singing, he breaks down. The way the show starts with a simple single incident of road rage, you'll never expect to see what it becomes in the end. It zooms out from that single incident into a vast, expansive world, a story of two individuals, one rich and the other struggling to make ends meet, how both of them have a void in their lives that they are trying to fill, and how their journey keeps you entertained but at the same time crushing you every now and then, just like the scene at the church. Because of the flawless writing and character development, the performances, the attention to detail with Asian representation, this show is a game changer and quite easily one of the best shows Netflix has ever made. Jubilee. If you're a fan of cinema like me, this show is a gift. Not just because it's Amazon Prime Video's most expensive Indian show, but because of this filmmaker called Vikramaditya Motwane and this gorgeous world that he's created. Since 2010, Motwane has made films like Udaan, Lutera, AK vs AK, Trapped, Bhavesh Joshi Superhero, superb films that are so amazingly different from each other. But Jubilee is a story that's close to his heart, close to his roots of his grandfather, who came to Bombay after the partition and devoted everything he had into making this film about the partition itself, which failed. Similarly, Motwane took everything he learned about cinema in the past decades and put it all into making this passion project about the Hindi film world of the 1950s. A shiny world driven by dreams, ambition, fame, power, desire, greed, ego, and heartbreak, but also magic. And that magic reflects in every single frame and driven by every single department behind making that frame. Whether it's the every frame a painting kind of cinematography by Pratik Shah, just look at these frames, or the sublime music by Amit Trivedi that makes you feel like you've time traveled back to the 50s, the slowly unfolding yet emotionally gripping screenplay by Atul Sabharwal, or the pitch perfect performances by pretty much everyone in the cast. But easily the standout of this show, or even of this decade, is Jai Khanna, played by Siddhant Gupta. Siddhant, who I'm seeing for the first time, plays this character with the energy and swagger of actors like Raj Kapoor and Dev Anand, and he'll charm you in an instant, but right in the next second, he can make you cry for him as he reacts to this unfair, unforgiving world of cinema. But this one shot of him hanging right outside a movie theater, waiting for the reaction of the audience who's watching the first film that he's made, it's just something else. Already one of my favorite Indian web shows of all time, but possibly one of the few shows I'm gonna rewatch rewatch multiple times. Casey Neistat on the Flagrant podcast. By the time we watch this video, we've probably crossed 100k subscribers, and obviously I have to thank you guys for all the support. But before this milestone, or even before I got to 0 subscribers, there was a man who inspired me so much to create a YouTube channel in the first place. Casey Neistat. In case you don't know, Casey Neistat is one of the most iconic vloggers from the YouTube community who's been an inspiration to millions of aspiring creators to start their own journeys. But before the videos, before YouTube, before all the success that came with it, there's years and years of struggle and hustle. This is a guy who just kept going forward without giving a single to think about what's going to happen. From being in a troubled household, to dealing drugs in 9th grade, to dropping out of school and becoming a father at the age of 15-16, from washing dishes to support himself, to living with his baby in this dangerous hostel-like house in New York where the toilets would be covered in blood, to running scared shitless on the streets of New York the day the planes hit the World Trade Center, to making the city home and its people his community, to just hustling and hustling for years until the world took notice of him. This guy has seen everything, and it's such a crazy, amazingly inspirational journey which he talks about with such a casual, it is what it is kind of a vibe. And I think, like me, if you decide to listen or watch this 3-hour podcast, you might just find the strength to face whatever's troubling you in your journey, because this conversation will feel like someone just took a lighter and lit a fire up under your ass. Promising Young Woman. There could be only 2 reactions to this film. Number 1, the actions of the main character make you feel uncomfortable. You have no idea what she's going to do next. You find everything problematic, and in the end, you end up hating the film because of all of this. And number 2, for all the same reasons, you absolutely love the film. The woman takes revenge story has been done so many times in films like Kill Bill or Gone Girl or I Spit on Your Grave, but what I love about Promising Young Woman is that it takes all of these cliches and just flips it. Right from how the film looks like a candy-colored bubblegum visual when the content is actually dark, to how it treats violence without actually showing much violence on screen. You'll be constantly asking yourself, what's wrong with this woman? Should I even support her? Does it make me a bad person if I do? But when you reach the end, you'll be clapping from your sofa. Hometown cha-cha-cha. If you live in a big city like me, sometimes you feel like you just want to escape the chaos and traffic and dust and just move to a small, peaceful town where everyone knows everyone. Maybe you can't do that right now, but until you can. This is why shows like Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha exist. You don't have to follow some complex story. Just twice a day during lunch and dinner, sit in front of the TV and just escape for those couple of hours across the seas to South Korea in this small, charming seaside town just to spend some time with these warm characters. You'll find kindness, empathy, and so much generosity that you think is missing in your own world, in your own city. But watching the show might just make you want to go seeking for all of this. Each episode might be over 1 hour long, but don't let that stop you from watching it, because it has this rare, calming quality that very, very few shows have these days. Imagine it's 5 p.m. and you're sitting near the beach, and there's this warm golden sunlight falling on your face while a cool breeze also keeps touching it. That's what every minute of the show feels like. And those were all my recommendations for the best of April. Whatever you watched during this time, put your favorites in the comments. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.